Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're playing a digital combat simulator, digital combat series, and it's a little bit different from what I've done before, but I've recently gotten into this game and I really like it. And I recently purchased a model called the F-16. In this game it's called a module. Modules are like different jets, add-ons, stuff like that. So I recently got the F-16, and what I realized is it's kind of a pain, especially as a new player, to learn the basics of certain planes and just knowing how to fly in this game. So I'm going to kind of walk through some of the main, really big things that are really useful and really helpful for you guys. So some newer players, if you need a tutorial, this is, you came to the right place. So first off, you're greeted with this front menu screen. You immediately get two aircraft, a Su-25T, and I think it was a P-51 Mustang, and those are both free, and then you can add on different jets and locations for money, and you start off with the Marinas and the Caucasus Islands. Those are two maps you can go to. My favorite is the Caucasus Islands, or sorry, not islands, Caucasus Mountains. And those are really fun to fly through. As you can see, that's the background right now is the Caucasus Mountains. And I'm going to kind of show you guys how to get started. So first, you can either do instant action, create fast mission, mission campaign, multiplayer. I've only done the instant action and multiplayer. You can also do training, so you can train for the aircraft you have, or just training in general. So we're going to load into multiplayer, and this is what you're going to be greeted with. So in this menu is a whole bunch of different servers you can join with a whole bunch of people in them. What this means is if it's in white text like this, you're able to join these. But if it's like here where it's grayed out, you cannot join these, whether it's a different like map where you haven't downloaded that scenery, like the Persian Gulf, you have to buy that, Syria, you have to buy that, or if they're locked like this, so people can make servers, and you can make your own server that is locked, and people cannot join, and there's a password. What I personally think you guys should do when starting is join one of these two training servers. These servers are fully made for starter players who are just learning how to play the game and are training, and there's AI enemy that you can shoot at and shoot down to be able to practice and work on. So we're going to go into this one for now. Probably this one has more people, as you can see, so I'm going to go into this one. Once you join in, you're going to be greeted with this menu right here. This is showing your role, your multiplayer role. So this is going to choose what aircraft you were in. It's going to show a whole bunch of different aircraft, and you're going to scroll until you find something like this, where it shows a lighter thing. This shows that you have this aircraft downloaded. So as you can see, I have the F-16 downloaded, so I can choose any one of these roles. So I'm just going to choose a 46. I'm going to go briefing and fly. It's going to spawn us into an airport. And here we are. See the scenery loading in. And we are in an F-16. You have gotten this far. Congratulations. Now, in some servers, your aircraft is already going to be started up for you and ready to go. In this and some other servers, you have to start it up yourself. Now, for the sake of this video and my sanity, we're going to be auto-starting it up, which I'm sure a lot of you will want to know how to do. So on your keyboard, just click the Windows and Home button. That's going to start the auto-start sequence. And it's going to go through everything and click every single button in here to be able to start up the aircraft and do everything for you. It's really handy, really nice, and great for starter players. Now, another thing we have to do is click the backslash on your keyboard, and it's going to bring up this menu. You can use a whole bunch of things, wingman, fly, ATC. We're going to go to ground crew, which is F8, and go to rearm and refuel, which is F1. It's going to bring up this menu here. And this is how you're able to load up your aircraft with weapons, with missiles, and everything you're going to need for combat. So you start off here. Here's your aircraft, all the slots you can load in. Fuel is here, gun ammo, your type of ammo you can choose. Flares are going to be used for countermeasuring heat seekers and like heat radar locked weapons. And shafts are going to be for like AIM 120s, which are radar locked. I don't know what the F-15 was doing, with the radar-locked missiles and being able to shake those. Gonna go here and select loadout, and there's various amounts of weapon combinations and missiles you can choose from. I personally do the 6 AIM 120s, or 4 AIM 120s, and 2 AIM 9Xs and also 2 fuel bags. I'm going to go with this one to show off both missiles because both of these are very useful in air-to-air combat. You click that, okay, it's going to automatically put all of those on our aircraft. So as you can see there, it added the first bag, and it's going to start loading up our missiles. So you have 2 bags of fuel, and there's our AIM 9X, or second one. It's going to bring in our AIM 120s, which are our radar lock missiles. It's going to tell you exactly when we're full, and we're all loaded up and ready. There, rearming complete, and you're going to be in here. We're going to adjust the brightness so it's not too bright. And now our aircraft is waiting for the INS align, which takes a little bit, so we're going to walk through some things that are really useful. So in here, we're going to go to this depth right here, and that's going to bring our radar to center. And this is our nautical meters. Those are nukes. Okay, so somebody is dropping a nuke on the server. Didn't even know it was a thing, but we're going to try to run through this quick. So this is 80 nautical miles on a radar. This is 40 nautical miles. I think the resolution is kind of low for some reason, but we'll figure that out later. Some of the main things you're going to want is over here. This master arm right here is going to be very useful. When you turn that on, that is going to be able to allow you to shoot missiles. So if you are in a dogfight, you are locked onto somebody, you're not going to be able to shoot missiles unless if that master arm is on. So you're going to want to turn that on. Down here, landing lights. Turn those on if you're going to be taxiing so you can see at night. Then down here is your countermeasures. So this is your flares and chaffs. So you can either memorize this or just look at what I am doing. You click those up. Put this mode to semi. So you choose when you put off your flares and chaffs. And right here you activate your chaffs and your flares. Shows the number right here. You have 60. And here is your threat warning aux. Click that for the power it on. And that is going to be right up here. You see it's going off because I think there's a nuke or something on the server. I don't know. It's somebody says they're nuking, and I heard the sirens. But essentially, down here is going to show where aircraft are going to be locking onto you, shooting missiles. It will show red launch here, and it will show you have a radar lock on you, and there's missile launch. In order to shoot back, obviously, if it's air-to-air, you're going to click air-to-air here, which is what you're mostly going to be using. With this is the AIM 9X. So that little diamond there is going to be searching for heat from aircraft, and then it's going to start making a beeping noise. And then once you get closer to the aircraft, it's going to make a loud, like, high-pitched noise. You can click C on the keyboard, which is going to initiate the rocket lock, and it's going to then be able to allow you to shoot the missile at the enemy you are locked onto. So you can see there, showing all of the aircraft around. It looks like there's an aircraft over there that is looking at us on their radar and trying to get a radar lock on us. So it's going to give that little, like, alarm. And then the little square is showing the closest threat to you. In order to change the weapon, you're going to be over here in this menu. When you click air-to-air, it's going to bring you to this menu. I'm going to click here, and that's going to change for your AIM 120C. And that is going to be this. Now, the AIM 120 is fully navigated by the radar over here, which I will explain to you in a second. So, be able to change those between your missiles is that button. Then you can change back to your radar through down here. Change that there, change your missiles back. Very simple, very easy. Now, it looks like our auto start is fully complete. So we are able to start taxiing. Click S on the keyboard, and that's going to bring up this thing. That's nose wheel steering. Nose wheel steering is going to be very useful in taxiing because you can't turn unless if you have nose wheel steering on. Now we're going to go over here to our radar. This is going to be very important for long range, especially with our AIM 120 missiles. It's going to be very important for locking on at long range instead of doing little dogfights. So we're going to go into the control center. We're going to go here. This is a target management switch. You're going to want to have up binded or just have it up on the arrow keys on your keyboard. This is going to be able to allow you to lock onto a target when they have radar contact. Another thing that is going to be very useful is right here, the RDR cursor switch. You're going to want to have a layout like this, it's already up where it's like the arrow keys except on your keyboard with period, comma, slash, and semicolon. That's going to move around this little cursor here. So it's like the arrow keys, but on your keyboard, it's going to move this around. Another thing that is binded is these, the ant elevation knob, clockwise and counterclockwise, and that is going to be able to change the altitude your radar is scanning. So this box right here is your radar scanner. It's scanning everything in this box. So it shows here you are scanning from 36,000 feet to 10,000 feet. You can go negative 6,000 feet, so you're getting in the ground, as well as up to 11,000 feet. You can change that. It changes with how far back and how close it is. So that is very useful for getting a radar lock on enemies, and I will explain that and show that to you in a bit. Another thing that this uses, over here, A6 and 4B, I think, you can change, this is the width of your radar scanning. So you can see in between these blue lines, your radar scanning here. You can make it even smaller, and the reason you can have bigger is it's being able to read and scan this whole entire area, but it's not going to update as quick as, say, you were just scanning this area. It's going to update a lot quicker. You can also see it's showing your radar scanning area right there. So we go 6, that's the whole way, 3, there, 1, there. Here is your elevation. It changes your elevation numbers. Now, it'd be better and more precise, but I always keep it on the highest settings. You can always change it, and that's just the easiest. So in order to use this, it's going to be soy, which is going to have this little white area around. You do right alt period for it to say not soy. That means you're not going to be able to get any locks, but if you keep it soy, and it's automatically soy, if you keep it like that, it's going to be able to always be able to find enemies and lock onto them. So we can go ahead and start the taxi process. I think we're all good to go. Just a bit. So F1 on your keyboard, looks like we're being shot at. F1 on your keyboard is being able to go to the cockpit view. F2 is the exterior view, and F3 is a standstill camera locked onto your aircraft. Looks like that's the guy that tried shooting at me, that J11. F10 shows the map. In a training server, you can see where all the aircraft are. In a non-training server, you can't. You have to find them on your radar, which for some reason isn't working for me, so I might need to reload and show you an example of that. The cockpit is you use the number letters on the, numbers on the right side of your keyboard, where it's like a keypad or like a phone, like dials thing. Basically, it's like 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. It's just like going like that on the right side. You use that to look around, up, down, sideways, just like that in the cockpit. And that's already set. So we're going to take off full afterburner. As you can see, we're going to get in the air. Now, hopefully, as we take off, our radar is going to start working, but 200 knots. Normally, F-16 will take off at 130 knots. Make sure you have something for your gear binded, so you can put up the gear. And we're off. So I think, and also the chat, this is something I had to learn myself, was clicking Shift and Tab at the same time will allow you to talk. Clicking Shift and Tab again will completely hide the chat, and I already got shot down. And clicking Tab is going to show the chat like that. So I think there's people camping our base, which is not very cool. Yeah, there's that J11 camping our base like a loser. So we're going to have to, and this is actually a good example. So say you get shot down right here. Bam, I explode. Oh no, cry. We'll go select roll, and we're going to go back to here, briefing, and you can immediately fly right back in, which is really useful. We're going to do the startup process and do everything again. So I'll be with you shortly. That guy just exploded. Nice. Okay, so I'm just going to run through this really quick. This is the startup process of what I would do. So the aircraft is already starting up. So we go master on, work our way down, landing lights on, countermeasures to semi, so we can use them. Click the power, so our that thing is on, and then once this turns on, we can go air-to-air mode, choose our aim 120s. That's the best for taking off, because it's a longer range missile, where if there's people really close to us camping around, we can use our aim 9s, which are better for close range. Turn down the brightness with this. You can also turn down the brightness with this, but this is for that. Turn the brightness so it's not too bright. Go here, center that. Go to 80 knots, 80 nautical miles. F10, we're way down here. There's some J11s and J17s. We're waiting for our INS align. So when you're trying to get in the air really quick and you don't want to taxi all the way out to the runway because there's somebody camping your runway and they're shooting you every time you try to take off, get quick up in the air on a taxiway. You're in the air, gear up. You're in the air quick. Now we see a little notification on our radar. You can see all those little Doritos. Those are enemies. If it's anything else, don't shoot at it. It's not an enemy. So you can see there's one in our 40 nautical mile radius right up here at 34,000 feet. So we're going to move our cursor, move it up to the selected altitude, and you can see we got a radar contact a little bit so we can see his altitude. So we're going to fly up to him. I got my aim 120s out, so that's actually better for range. I'm going to make it so you can obviously change this so it's 9,000 feet to 46,000 feet, which is better to be able to reach him because he's right in the smack dab middle of that. So you're going to want to be just around where he's right around in the middle. And I think we're actually going to chase after this guy. We'll chase after this guy to a little bit slight to our left. So we're going to start flying at Afterburner, where our fuel flow is 80,000. We have 10,000 pounds of fuel. Once we get down to 7,000, we can jettison our fuel bags, which are, if you don't know, those two big fuel tank looking things. They look like big bombs. Those are fuel tanks. They're called bags. At 7,000 pounds of fuel, those are useless. Those are empty. You can jettison those, and that will drop them, which I'll just demonstrate now. Drop them. And see, we are now down to 7,000. So that's what happens when you jettison those. And that's where that is in the cockpit. It's just right up there next to the landing gear. So we're going to try to get a radar contact on this guy. Looks like he's at 20,000 feet. There's radar contact in a lock. So is that going to show up? Or is he... Oh, he died. Okay. Did he die? I think he died. So we're going to go out. We're just going to demonstrate on our friendly right here. So we got a lock right there. You see there's a whole bunch of radar bars. That means that's a radar contact. Right there's a missile lock. So we now radar locked on that guy. You see the little boxing on the right side. Right down there and right up there, that shows where your missile can shoot. So that little circle is showing where the missile will reach him in here, but in this box is where you want to shoot because that means it's going to hit the aircraft, no matter if they flare or anything. Now, if they notch, which I will explain to you in just a second, if they notch the missile, it most likely will miss. So say this guy right up here is going to be shooting a missile at me. Say, radar warning, missile launch, right? He shoots a missile straight at me. Just pretend he's still there. I think he got shot down, right? What you want to do when you're getting to notch a missile, when you're getting shot at, is go completely 90 degrees from the missile. So we'll go right here. Say the missile has been shot this way. We're not... Actually, this is perfect. So we got a missile to our right side being shot at us. See that? We dip our nose and we go 90. Keep doing that, and it's going to lose contact. You're just going to keep losing contact and doing flares. Keep do small little adjustments like that. Making sure you're in 90 degrees when you flat out. And when it doesn't say launch again, this guy's shooting all his missiles. We're notching his missiles, so you're going to want to have your nose a little bit down. You're going to be 90 degrees every time it says launch, and then it's not saying launch anymore. That means it's not locking onto you. So you can see I launched that first missile, and then he shot another one, and he still missed. So now there's a guy on me. There's a guy actually right in front of me, so I'm just going to shoot at him real quick. Can I get radar contact? Try to demonstrate if I can. He's within 10 nautical miles, actually, so I may be able to just... He's at 1,000 feet. There's radar contact. See, that's where he is. I'm gonna shoot off one missile. And then that might miss him. So we're going to flip around real quick if that does miss. There's also two MiG-29s. So I'll go here. Switch to this. Now what I can do, see this JF right here, got him with that AM-20. Now there's two MiG-21s over here, so what I'm going to do is block up that diamond with those MiG-21s, sorry. Bingo fuel. It looks like they're actually on the ground. We're going to... Alright, can't shoot them on the ground. We're going to flip around real quick. Aim 9 now, really quick. So we're going to find this guy, and we're going to find a heat signature from him. So we're going to see where his aircraft is, find a heat signature, and then that's going to be able to, off the heat signature, lock the Aim 9, which is at Fox 2, and shoot at him. So we see we're getting a little heat notification right there. Found him. Shoot. You're going to hear that high-pitched noise. That means it's right over his aircraft. That's lock-on. That really high-pitched noise is lock-on. So we shoot another AIM-9 just in case. Now we can either break off, which is a smart thing to do, but we're just going to watch him get absolutely obliterated by these. Another thing they can do with the heats is they can always do flares and block them so they might miss. But another thing I can do is I don't even need to get a radar contact with... I'm actually catching up with these. So that was a little far for the AIM-9s, but you get the gist. They will lock on like that. I can shoot my AIM-120 without even locking onto him. And it's going to go straight to him and hit him. See that? It didn't even have to lock on, and with it being within 10 nautical miles, the AIM-120s will find it and kill him. Now, my AIM-9s should have killed him, but they were a little bit out of reach. So I would say shoot those only within 10 nautical miles, and maybe 15 to 20. That was a little far for the AIM-9s to be able to... So you could see they detonated right before they could get to it, so I just shot an AIM-120. But that is basically the AIM-9s and the AIM-120s, how they can be used. So the AIM-120 is really nice for long range. Can also be used in close range, but it's a little bit harder to lock on. As well as if you don't lock on and you shoot, you just want to make sure you don't have any friendlies nearby, because it could accidentally lock on to a friendly, which you don't want to shoot down. So that is the basics of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Comment down below if you need any tips, if you have any questions with like keybinds or how to do something. I'll figure it out for you guys and post a video as quick as I can. Because I knew when I was making this and I was trying to learn how to fly the F-16, it was a real pain, and so I want to be able to make that as easy for you as possible and as update as quick as possible. And I think I'm out of fuel. Yeah, I just ran out of fuel. So that's what happens when it says bingo. That means you're out of fuel. So yeah, that's the last lesson for today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and just make a comment. I'll read every single one, and hope you guys enjoy, and see you guys in the next video.